we
I don't
not
know if
watch
he's
hockey?
watching hockey or he's watching his like Russian videos where people die.
Yeah.
Oh man, the war videos are still fucking crazy, man.
You're
What are
still
you
watching
watching
these?
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
It's about nothing. It's about nothing.
Just want these guys to know you got another thing coming, bitch. I'm still around.
Yo, what's going on with the war, Loki? Can you give me a quick war update? Because I have no idea what's going on. That thing got old, like an old like
It was
bad TV
yesterday's,
show.
yesterday's news, bro.
I feel like it's at a stalemate. Is it at a stalemate?
No, so the Ukrainians are mounting an offensive sometime like this summer.
So is it really? So,
Everybody's
how do we
waiting
know
for
about
it.
it?
It's an open secret.
Raji let out the secret.
Yeah, did
It's
you
an
just
open
snitch?
secret. Huh?
Did you just snitch on them?
No, they know. The Russians know too.
So like
Everybody knows.
they're moving in on Russia?
They're
Encroaching?
They're moving back on gaining back the territory that Russians still occupying.
You guys ever play Risk?
Yeah.
Yes, all the time.
Really? All the time?
All the time. Love that game.
Yeah, so I was playing Risk. I barely played it, but I played it like a while ago. And I got to this point where I like took over a whole bunch of that land, like that China-Russia border.
Yeah.
And I was just holding down. I felt like a G because I was just, I encroached the hell out of that and like drove the guy who had it out. So that's what's kind of going on here. Like as soon as you said Ukraine's just getting back to the land, that reminds me of that game where you finally start rolling in your favor and start taking back pieces.
In the soldiers, yeah.
I don't know, but is there a chance that Russia's just gonna be like, all right, man, enough is enough, we're done, peace? Like,
I don't know. I think they take basically too seriously, so I don't know. But they're taking like heavy losses. There's this one city, Bakhmut or whatever, where it's like, remember that movie Enemy at the Gates?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Stalingrad.
Stalingrad.
I think it was Stalingrad. I believe it is, right? Where they're just shooting at each other, killing each other.
Yeah. So it's like the city in
hold
the
on.
fucking shithole.
What's that dude's name? He was in all these movies at one point.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Fuck.
Balding actor, not any name.
But yeah, what about him?
Something. Judd?
Jude Law?
Am I wrong?
Jude Law, whatever.
Judd. What's his name?
Jude Law.
Jude Law. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
You guys say Jude Law, I still don't get like a face coming to me.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm just in this.
Remember that Pope TV show?
The what?
That two season special, The Pope?
I didn't watch it.
It was
You watching
really
Miss Marvel?
artsy, but it was good.
I watched Miss Marvel. Yes, I did.
Captain Marvel. I think he was the villain in that.
I don't even remember the villain in that show. I have a really weird memory like for this stuff like this right
Been in
now.
like so many
by the
movies.
way?
Huh?
Are you recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay.
This was an intro topic. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's like fucking Stalingrad. The city's gone to waste. There's nothing. And Russia is key on getting it so they can say, yo, we have a W. And Ukraine is making it a pain in the ass for them to win that city, even though there's nothing and there's no strategic value to them, just because it's like such a morale killer for the Russians, because they've been trying to get it since December and we're in April now.
So they just want to get it back out of pettiness. Like, fuck you, we got it.
Pretty much. It's like, yeah, this is like, like hockey power play, you don't get anything going and it's such a morale killer. It's like that, because it's basically nothing. And Ukraine just sends its like B team to defend, and it's like it's been just training its A team, like giving them all these new weapons from the West. Like, so that's why everybody thinks like, yo, they're loading up for a summer attack. And Ukraine's pretty much now they're like, yeah, it's coming. We're not gonna tell you where and when, but it's coming. It's like, it's pretty badass to fucking say that openly that, yeah, we're gonna do a counteroffensive.
I'm honestly curious though. How the hell do you know this? Like, where are you reading this? Like, what's the go-to source to understand this stuff? Because every media source I kind of consume is all kind of over it.
Washington Post, Economist, Guardian.
Get the fuck out of here. No, this guy just started listing random newspapers. You ain't reading The Economist daily, man. Who you lying to?
I read The Economist, okay? I do.
This guy's like, yeah, The Economist on Monday, The Atlantic on Wednesday, and I'll occasionally check the New York Times on Friday and Thursday.
Yeah, Wall Street Journal here and
I got
there.
a
Yeah, I
package.
subscribe.
I got a package.
This guy gets it.
Right? Whatever comes with the package, I read. And Guardian is free, so whatever.
Bait, this guy's following one Instagram account.
Not the Brampton Guardian, the Guardian, right?
The
The
Guardian,
UK Guardian. Bait, this guy just following one account on Instagram. This guy's like one Instagram account. The guy breaks it down and he's like, yeah, I read The Economist and shit.
Plus, I follow all these war accounts. Like, I don't know, maybe I should shout out Atlas News. They do good work on Instagram.
So we've concluded you are getting this information from Instagram. It isn't.
Like, yeah, today they gave like this time lapse icon of like the Russian forces moving around that Bakhmut city. You're not really getting all of it, but like it's a time lapse from December to now.
And that's dope. Yeah. I'm just saying that's a far cry from the Atlantic.
Commentary there. If that's what you're asking.
No, I'm saying that's dope. I was just curious where you're getting from. This guy pulls out The Economist and the Washington Post. Just say Instagram, brother.
No, I read The Economist. I fucking read. I read for a living.
Yo, Robbie, you think this guy's lying? I feel like he's lying to us right now. He's just naming big names.
I think he's really serious, and I think the fact that you don't believe he can read is even funnier.
It's not that I don't think he can read. I don't think he's sitting there reading 6 newspapers trying to put together the war.
What do you do on the can? What do you do on the can?
Honest to God, I read those most shit takes on Twitter.
This guy's on Twitter, guaranteed.
I'm reading the most mind-numbing takes on Twitter.
He's taking like 10 shits a day too.
There's nothing I've learned off Twitter. Sometimes when I'm feeling bold, I'll open up the Globe and Mail and I'll read a few articles. Only because these motherfuckers are charging me $37 a month that I've been unable to cancel. I've been trying so hard to cancel this.
But you know what Twitter's good for? Playoff hockey. And playoff updates and all sports. Twitter's been great.
Twitter's been great, to keep with sports.
Sports in general made Twitter. Shit. But what's going on with the Leafs? I heard they had a big game.
You heard?
We were here live. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah. Shouldn't have just casually said if it was like just a normal, regular hockey game.
What a fucking series, boys. What a series. 3 wins on the road. Fucking crazy. OT, all of them. It's pretty bad. That's a lot of base D for Tampa Bay. But crazy, man, because it sounds like if you watch the games, 3 games we got outplayed. Even that 4th one, all the momentum was with Tampa. They were really pouring it on. But Leafs picked their shots and they somehow grinded out a win. And that is
the story. They rope it up every game.
That's some championship, man. Yeah. It's fucking awesome to see.
This sounds a lot different than what you were saying last week.
Dude, I'm allowed. It's called the reverse fucking jinx. Okay, first of all.
Last week, this guy's like, our team is trash. We don't even belong in this league. Get us out of here. This week, this guy's like, plan the parade. We're here. We're a championship team. We're built for this.
I'm not saying plan the parade, but...
he went home and he's wearing his Leaf cut tie and everything, right?
The next day, that's all I did.
This guy, I could literally see him changing his bed sheets. Be like, yo, we're changing the bed sheets. It's on.
Yeah, Suki said no, so...
I'm sure you could get like a compromise, get like a blue and white like flower pattern or something going.
No, I don't think I'll win that one. But
it's pretty funny how everyone's going like they won the Stanley Cup. No, it's a big win. It's a big win. I agree, it's a big win. It's not a Stanley Cup. It's one series.
When we win the Stanley Cup,
then 100%.
It'll be better.
Possibly.
Yo, what happened in Toronto on the other day? It was wild. I was trying hard not to laugh at it.
It was a lot of pent up nerves, and that's what happens. It's been 19 years isn't a short amount of time. When we won, I thought, do we go honking? Is that still a thing? Because that's what I was
remember the flags. Remember that.
So what did you do when you won? Like, what was the...
Smiled.
Honestly, I just jumped around the living room with my hands in the air, and that's it. I was trying not to wake up my family. And I've been watching these games alone because, look, I was, what do you want to call it? Like a woman scorned. I was upset. I was upset at the Leafs. Okay?
That comment's not going to go down well.
Well, whatever.
No, man. It's 2023. He can identify as whoever he wants now.
No, it's that like, it's a saying, man. It's a saying.
I'm just saying,
You know,
I understand the
I was
excitement.
angry. I was angry. I was bitter. I wasn't even liking Maple Leaf tweets all year long. I just didn't want to give in that this could be the year that they could load up and actually win. This year was a little different.
So where are you now? Where are you now?
Where am I now? Like mentally, we can go deep.
It's straight to the cup.
We can go deep. We can go really fucking deep.
Every Leafs fan, every Leaf fan, one win. Yeah, we're taking the cup this year, boys. That's it.
Look,
We shook it off. We shook it off. It's off. The monkey's off our back.
What's a bigger demise, though? Tampa or Boston? Boston losing is a big demise. Like, everyone thought Boston was shooing.
The biggest. That's the biggest choke job ever.
It's sports. Hold on. It's sports, though, right? Can we say it's one of the biggest?
Yeah, maybe it was early round, so it's hard to say.
Like out of the big 3-4, yeah.
But doesn't that make it worse that it was early round? Imagine the Bulls dropping their series first round after the season they had, right? Or like Golden State. Golden State's the one that everyone compares it to, where they set a record. But Golden State took it to the finals. They still went to the finals, and then they choked in the finals, like the very end. Boston choked before they could even get started,
First
really.
round.
And they choked first round.
I mean, if they show those heroics, they're facing Leafs obviously now, right?
Tampa, yeah. Not Tampa, but Florida. Florida plays out of Miami?
No, Sunrise.
Sunrise.
Yeah, Miami, pretty much.
Okay, it's like a suburb out of Miami.
South Florida teams, man. A bunch of upsets, you know. The Heat upset the Bucks as well, right? That's another one, man. Something's going on in Florida.
Before we get too carried away, I do want to congratulate you. I legit want to congratulate you. I am happy for Leaf fans.
Congratulated. What did he do?
Just for sticking around, I guess. I don't know. For reverse jinx.
For so many years.
I think you should keep talking shit so they keep winning. I think that's what it is.
No,
this is the year he didn't talk shit. This is the year he had to like stay quiet. This is the year he stayed quiet. He legit didn't say anything.
Leaf Nation, that's what I'm saying. If he gets happy about the Leafs, y'all gonna lose.
It's okay. It's okay.
He's Charles Barkley of hockey, this guy right here.
I got my win. I got my series win.
I guarantee.
But you know what's crazy to me? Whenever people say 19 years ago was the last time the Leafs won, that blows my mind because I legit remember the last time the Leafs won. I was living with Ranjit when the Leafs won, beat Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. We were living there. That literally doesn't feel like 19 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you seen those pictures of the ACC or Scotiabank Arena now? But
where it's all parking.
There's all parking lots around. You look at it, you're like, that's,
and all the towers now. It blows my, like. Someone made a list of all the technology that exists now that it didn't exist then. Yeah. And I saw that list. I'm like, this is crazy. But the way they write it out is like we were living in black and white TVs 19 years ago. I'm like, yo, we had access to MP3s. We had MP3 players. We were friggin' had those mini iPod shuffles.
What year was that? What year are we talking about?
2004. First year uni.
BlackBerry
was king back then.
The big ones.
Yeah,
the big one. Yeah, the small one. They had to come out.
No, the Pro wasn't out, but the Bolts were out.
Yeah,
the business class ones. I don't know, that era doesn't seem like a far bygone era type thing when they list all that stuff. I'm like, okay, so what? We still use the internet.
Facebook came and went. I mean, that's a pretty big one.
Facebook started. Facebook was just blown up at that time. Facebook just started. But it's just wild, thinking about how far back that is, and there's kids now who are just witnessing it for the first time, and even that.
All those kids in the square, they don't know what a series win is like. They never experienced. They're too young to actually know what's going on.
You know when people say that they're like they didn't know this is the first time they're experiencing, like suckers, they don't know what's coming up. It's worse because you're from that era that kept blowing it in the semis and the quarters, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, was the last time 68 was the last cup?
67.
That was the last.
Don't fucking try me. I know you're doing it on purpose.
No, but that was.
He left.
So that was the last cup, but like the amount of heartbreak you had before that wasn't minimal. It's not like this heartbreak only started in 2004. You guys were getting you were pretty battered by 2004 too, of all the shortcomings from the decade prior.
What was the game 7? Boston. They lost to Boston before, didn't they? Game 7?
Yeah, that was a reverse
We're
upset.
not talking about that one. I was there. I was there.
Boston, Habs, Tampa. I mean, that was the more recent ones. I'm just saying back in the day.
Columbus was hurt a lot too. That was a bad one.
I'm just saying, Ranjit, I don't want you to get hurt, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm happy that you got through the first round, but remind yourself that now you're back to where you were in 2004. You were winnish in 2004. You were still heartbroken and like battered back then. You were just as scorned.
Like even back in 2004, we didn't have a team that 100% was a favorite or a contender. We were a team that had a decent season and could make playoffs. But if we made it any further than like second round, it'd be lucky. This team is built to go deep. They just had that monkey on their back.
I swear to God, this is the exact reverse thing you said.
Dude.
They need to blow it up.
No. Okay. This team can go deep. I'm glad that for anybody who's a Leafs guy, you'll know what I mean when I say this. I'm glad that Sheldon Keefe got past his stubbornness and put Hall aside, and that made a huge fucking difference. Okay, Lily's in. We're built to win. As long as Samsonov plays that same game, like we're good, man.
And it looks like he's trying to find the subtitles.
I'm really just trying not to let this guy like. I want him to take him a second and realize like everything you said last week. Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment, brother. You don't know what the future holds.
4 games against Florida could be quick.
I like this excitement. I like this matchup. I think.
What's your prediction? What's your prediction?
Game 7. It's gonna go to 7.
Wow. Another game 7.
Yeah.
See, that's not. You don't have any faith.
No, I think they're two teams that play very similarly when they're like let loose. So I think it'll be a more fun series to watch rather than like sitting there with your sphincter tight the whole time with this Tampa game. Wondering, no, don't score. I think this next series is going to be high scoring.
Did you not want Boston?
I wanted Boston.
Did you want Boston?
I wanted Boston.
You wanted Boston?
I wanted Boston.
It's interesting because a lot of Leaf fans I know were so relieved that it wasn't Boston this round.
Wasn't Boston. Yeah, they were a shoo-in, weren't they?
But yo, look, Florida exposed them. They looked hurt. They looked battered. They looked slow. So I was down. Plus, like think beating Boston after getting out of the first round, there's like the belief in that locker room would be nuts through the roof.
Didn't so that's that one, and then the Kraken, they won as well, right?
Yeah, dude.
Colorado yesterday.
That was a weird. I never like their games are on so late. I don't really watch.
They were the former champs, though, right?
Yeah,
the Habs.
Yeah. But the scariest team, I think, if there's a dark horse, is Dallas. Dallas can win any way you want. Like they can play a rough and tough game. They can play a fast game. They really lock it down, and they have great goaltending. Like probably one of the best goalies in the playoffs right now.
So that's the question I had for you now is, in my experience, from my limited experience, let's be clear, a good hockey team has a great goalie. Like all the, like the goalies are able to fish them out of like dark scenarios and like deep in games where they, keep them in. I don't feel like the Leafs have that goalie. I feel like they're just getting lucky on offense, but the goalie doesn't seem like that's their strong.
So I agree. Samsonov isn't like one of the freaks of the league, like the freak goalies. There's like only 3 of them, right? So most teams don't have that freak goalie. So everybody's nuts. Generally, all the teams are in the same boat. So the teams that did have those freak goalies, Tampa and Boston, they're already out. So now what we have, all the teams have a pretty good goalie.
Minus Dallas.
No one who's like going to Hall of Fame. Even this Ottinger guy, he's too new. You don't know, like he could just be having a great year. But he's been like lights out. So Samsonov just needs to be good. The Avalanche proved last year they don't need to have like a Vezina trophy winner goalie to win the Stanley Cup. They just need to have a really strong team in front of them and decent goaltending, and that's what won them the league last year. So look, if that's a blueprint, then we have the pieces.
What do you feel about Edmonton winning? Do you care at all about any other team going in right now? Because I feel like that was another big one.
I would love to see a finals between Edmonton and Toronto this year.
That'd be pretty
That
sick.
would be patake. That would be entertaining, and a lot of people lit off watching playoffs when their team's out. Everybody would tune into that.
I feel like that would be a big one.
Canada
All of
wins.
Canada would be
Canada
watching.
wins. Yeah, Canada wins no matter what.
And no matter what, but there'd be even like Americans, like there'd be a hard on for everybody watching that game.
Yeah.
Just because the skill level in that would be so high.
Is it possible? Or do you think it's like
Yeah, it's
favorable?
possible, 100%. Their current trajectories, yeah, why not?
And what do you make about Seattle winning? Is that even a big deal? Like,
It is. I mean, it's good for them. Their expansion team, right? Their first playoff run, and they
Kind of reminds you of
they won.
the Vegas Knights kind of did the same thing in their
Yeah.
expansion year as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, let's see. I honestly, I know nothing about Seattle Kraken. I barely watch them because I was in
Seattle.
highlight.
Do you think Vancouver
I mean, look,
fans are kind of bitter at this in any regard? Like, imagine being a Canuck fan.
Those guys just suck. They don't even blow up the team when they need to. They are still thinking they can add a piece or two. They need to total rebuild. Man, I
That
know
sounds like the Leafs fan from last week.
Yeah. All right. I got a lot of shit. Okay. First of all, let me just address Leafs Nation that thinks I was talking shit. First of all, you fuckers only watched that little snippet that Shinda posted online and then listen to the whole thing. Okay. If you listen to the whole thing, you'd have context. Second of all, it's called a reverse jinx. Google it. Third of all, I'm a diehard, lifelong Leaf fan. I can be pissed at my team if I want to, and I can jump back on if I want to. Suck it.
All right. Talking about sucking it, how do you feel about Florida trying to ban Leaf fans from swarming their stadium by limiting tickets to only U.S. citizens or Florida citizens?
Is that not such a shit league? Like, how can the NHL allow this where you want to preserve some sort of home ice advantage that you're not selling tickets to anybody who's willing to buy them? That's pretty fucked up. We don't, like, soccer doesn't do that. They make sure at the very least that the away team has a whole section. Okay? Basketball doesn't do this. It's so stupid. It's such a small-minded thing to do. I can't believe it actually flew. It's a bad look for the league, but I don't know what your thoughts are. It's kind of stupid for this too.
I mean, they could have come to some compromise, maybe a few sections, open up to everybody. But I guess you kind of understand why they want the home ice advantage, right? It's not like Leafs tickets here are cheap, so people are willing to pay that extra difference to flying down and catch the game, and
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I mentioned this in a group that I would have preferred Leafs playing Florida or Tampa, or sorry, not Tampa, Florida Panthers over Boston is if I could, I'd try to make a trip out of going down watching the game, right? It's fun. Who want to go to Boston? But yeah, look, like the secondary market, tickets are going to be bought on that. It'll still be probably cheaper than what we're paying here for Leafs tickets, which is at least $500 per tickets in the nosebleeds for this round. Okay. Second of all, there's more than enough Leaf or Canadians in the U.S. that they can easily buy tickets for their friends and family. So it's so futile and stupid. Doing this just screams insecurity because during the season and when the Leafs are playing there, it's filled with Leaf fans. It's like Ottawa.
One thing that I'm kind of is Florida's known as like Toronto's second home. That's where everyone from Toronto goes to like spend winters. Like that's the snowbird capital. The number of people who have like some sort of link to someone in Florida that they have an address or are able to buy tickets. I don't think this is it might slow some people down, but if you had the means to travel to Florida for the game, I think you have the means to find someone who can help buy tickets.
Yeah, I mean, watch the Saturday night and Monday game. It's going to be filled with Leaf fans. You're going to hear "Go Leafs, Go" chants the whole time.
Yeah, you can't really stop that, can you?
No, we travel. We travel for the Raps. We travel for the Jays. We travel for the Leafs. It's just what we do.
And I love watching.
But is it kind of embarrassing for the NHL expansion teams if the away teams come up and take all their tickets? It is a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, build up your fan base.
At the end of the day, you sold your tickets, though.
I know, but
they're still regardless of what jersey the fan in the stand's wearing, he's buying the snacks. He's at the concession stand. He's putting more money into your economy, if anything, you want to open that up as much as you can right now. No, it's like, yo, bring your money here, spend your money here.
From a league, I'm just thinking from a league perspective, why they thought that was the right approach, only because, they've opened these franchises in random markets, which is not really hockey fans, or there's not enough of them, right? So I don't know. It's just it's an interesting take by them, but yeah, I'm surprised they don't take the things like the Champions League, I guess, does that, where they reserve a certain amount of tickets in a certain section and do it that way. That might have been a smarter kind of approach. So not sure the thinking behind it, but I can kind of get why they're doing it. I just don't know. Maybe the execution wasn't, yeah.
I don't really know either. But talking about executions, you guys see this news with China and Michael Chong?
Good segues today are on.
Yeah.
I'm on point today.
I actually know nothing about this. I need some context.
All right. So a while back, you guys heard the news about China interfering in Canadian elections. And they had, the Liberal MP who the Globe and Mail reported CSIS was watching him, and they eventually broke the news, and the party kicked him out of the party, saying, we didn't know this, that, and now that we do, the party didn't kick him out. He resigned out of the party. I forget this guy's name. He was a Toronto guy who got thing like
the Liberal guy, right?
The Liberal guy. So that was part of the news. That was like government interference in this whole thing. Michael Chong is the foreign affairs critic for the Conservative Party. He ran for leadership twice. I remember, or once. Really cool guy. I remember the first time he ran. I thought he should have been the leader, but he doesn't have that kind of support within the party itself. Really well articulated dude. What happened was Globe and Mail contacted him saying, hey, do you have any thoughts on, this thesis saying that your family in China is being prosecuted for the things you said? Because he was kind of pushing for some bill here that was anti-China or anti-Chinese interference that they didn't like. Right. And so they were harassing his family back in Hong Kong. And, the Globe and Mail asked him about it. Like, CSIS in the report said, your family was part of this thing that they're kind of being prosecuted by the People's Republic. Care to comment? And he's like, it's the first I'm hearing about it. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, when I was passing that kind of stuff, I haven't talked to my family in China just because I don't want them to get involved. I know what the People's Republic is like. I'm trying to keep some distance from them, so I don't call them, I don't contact them, so I don't know what type of harassment they might be dealing with. And then he was just kind of like, I'm disappointed that Trudeau was given this information and didn't contact me, let alone kick out the diplomat who's responsible. That CSIS identified as, here's a Chinese diplomat who's living in Canada, who's orchestrating some of this stuff. He's just like, it's kind of shameful that Trudeau knew about this and didn't talk to me or talk to our party about it. They kind of just kept that part from him. It was the Globe and Mail who had to say, yeah, we talked to CSIS and CSIS brought this up with us. So
why is CSIS leaking all this shit all of a sudden? Is that not weird?
I never really thought about it from that kind of point of view, but at the same time, I think CSIS
is leaking like this interference thing, and now they're leaking this Chong thing. It's kind of weird for a security agency to have so many leaks and be in the media so much. Because all these years, I've ever growing up, I've never heard of them in the news. And now, this year, they're just all over the media. It's kind of weird.
I would argue that if I'm trying to add this all up, it sounds like they were trying to really talk to the seriousness about this with the Liberal government, who was like, yeah, well, we're taking it into consideration, but not doing anything. And them just saying, look, they're not doing anything with this information we're giving them. So what's the next best?
They blow the chain of command and are whistleblowing now?
I mean, I don't even think it's a chain of command. I think they're just releasing reports now, official reports that are bypassing, they're like, yo, we gave you time to act on it. You chose not to. So now we may as well reveal what's in the report.
It's so crazy because they're generally so tight with information. If you ask anything of them, it's pretty much a redacted page. And now they're sending out reports about active, political interference and espionage. It's, I don't know, valid points aside, The first takeaway for me is, man, like what CIS is doing, they've changed the way they operate. They're really getting political. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it more like when I wasn't completely thinking from that angle, like why are they leaking all that stuff? But now that you mention it, my mind goes straight to they must have been trying really hard to get something done on this and raising how high of an alert this is, and it got ignored. This reminds me of when Trudeau was going to India, and we were like, "Look, they're going to come at you with these topics, with these talking points," and they said, "Nah, nah."
Nobody was saying that, man. Everybody was just like, "Oh, give me tickets. I want to go to
No, buddy,
make sure my family members are invited to the embassy."
No. See, this is where
Nobody has these fucking red flags, man.
Hold on, 100%. So at this time, when I was involved with the WSO at that time, I know reports were being sent to every single party member, every single SIC MP was given like, this is what to expect, this is what's been brewing up, and they all said, no, that's not happening. We don't believe you. You guys don't know what you're talking about, and all of that backfired in their face at that time. And they said, well, why should we have known? And like, here's every single email we sent you explaining that this is about to happen, and you guys ignored it. I don't buy it for a second that this isn't not like that. I feel like Trudeau and the Liberals in general have this very arrogant, we know what's happening and we know what's going to happen and we have it fully under control, when they don't. They think they are understanding China, that they have a play for China. They don't. I think they have a play for India and how to handle India in general. They don't. They're getting bullied left and right by India, whichever way they want. We have these Hindu phobia bills being introduced, which makes zero sense to me. They're just getting knocked, man. I don't think the Liberals are competent on foreign affairs.
You think Pierre is going to do better?
I would think anyone would do better. I think it's so low. The bar is so low that I'll give Pierre 100 times more credit right now.
Letting you get it out, brother. Letting you get it out. Just get it out.
I'll say this. In Vancouver, the Nagar Kirtan, Trudeau didn't show up to the Nagar Kirtan in Vancouver because, they're going to say scheduling, but none of the MPs really showed up at the Vancouver one either. He did the photo op the night before, like the preparation stuff, got the photos, didn't go just because the security said, look, don't show up. I was talking to guys inside the party. They're like, yeah. They were told now is not a good time for him to go there. He'll probably be met with a lot of hecklers. Pierre, man of the people, Pierre, Surrey Nagar Kirtan, the one that every politician tries to stay away from when they can, because they know they're going to be on the CBC in a week or two after. Pierre, man of the people, was in there. He was there in Surrey. And there was a Toronto Nagar Kirtan was this week, that's where the Liberals felt safe. They felt well protected. They showed up. They ain't showing up to Malton. They ain't coming to Malton.
I wonder if they do.
But you know who's going to be there? My conservative brethren. They'll be there. They'll be shaking hands and they'll be getting love because they're people, the party of the people right there.
It's really been drinking from the well there.
Yeah, he's got brethren in the party.
The brethren thing, I think I really pushed it because I got a call from the Conservative Party today asking for a donation. I was like, get the fuck off. Like, don't even call me again. You know what's so stupid about the Conservative Party? This is what really drives me freaking crazy. I'm going to just, everything I said about them being the People's Party, just put that on pause right now. I'm going to switch hats right now, just like Ranjit did with the Leafs. These guys call. And I've been solicited from every party at some given time for a donation because I've been a member of every single party at some point in time. The Conservatives, when they call, they start their, I know times are tough. It's really hard right now. We need to support our people. Do you mind making a small donation of, what do you think that starting number for them is?
$100?
$3,000.
What?
That dude's opened.
Man.
He's
all
like,
those tax breaks you guys love. There you go.
He's like, listen, I know times are tough. We've done a lot. We're gonna do a lot. We just need a small donate, $3,000. I was like, yo.
So Shende, maybe it's not the party of the people. Maybe it's party of the rich and the wealthy.
Be it as they may. I just wanted to put that out there because that shit drives me crazy. And then I'm like, look, not right now. His comeback is, I know times are tough. I know we're really saving up. How about we just go for a regular $1,000? I was like, fuck you. The NDP, when the NDP called for a donation, they're like, hey, can you just think of us? can you just pray for us? The NDP are like, can you just put us in your heart, right? They're the party of like, we just want you to put us in your heart and good things are going to happen. The Liberals are like, hey, can you send us a 20? Can you send us a 50? It's just a suggin. That's all we're asking for. But the Conservative Party opens bidding at $3,000, which drives me crazy. But all that said,
you can imagine what the pay for play is in the Conservative Party.
It's easily 20 grand just to get a table. 20. That aside, Party of the People. I feel like we're gonna see a bigger Conservative presence at the Malton Nugget Keaton. Huh?
Yeah, because they need the votes, brother. Party of the People, book of us.
No, I mean, have you guys been to Brampton East lately? The amount of money floating around there—that's the Party of the People. That's their people right there. But
your ends.
You really think these? Forget it. I'm not gonna go into my anti-politician role.
All you gotta do is say the Bank of Canada is fucking stupid, and you're gonna win. You can't do anything about it.
Lower taxes. There you go.
Yeah, lower taxes. Bank of Canada is stupid. I'm gonna lower.
What else has he come up with? Yeah,
that's it.
You hold on. All that aside, you guys aren't concerned about the Liberal Party bending the knee for every foreign government right now?
No.
I think that's been happening.
Yeah, forever.
Harper wasn't bending the knee near as quick.
I don't think so. I think he was, man.
In other ways.
For a long time.
With what? He's the one who's, when India said, you guys got a terrorist problem, said, listen, we respect their voice.
And then he made a terrorist hotline. Yeah, he did.
What? Yeah. Hold on. That's a Liberal talking point. He didn't make a terrorist hotline.
No, he did make the terrorist hotline.
The terrorist hotline. You didn't know? Come on.
I feel like
I can't be the one educating you on that.
No, I mean,
and he inflated two classes of, he proposed to create 2 classes of citizenship.
Yes.
Where if you were convicted under certain charges, you could lose it.
Yeah, that kind of sucked, low-key. That was pretty bad, wasn't it? But he wasn't a pussy. Let's just be real. Let's just put it right there. He wasn't a punk. Trudeau's a punk. Do you not agree?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Harper was really strong.
I think relying for subpar.
A hard right-wing politician, but more interesting, is really strong against him. Good job, Harper.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Talking about hard right-wingers, you guys see Tucker Carlson's out?
Yo, so... Yeah,
the segues, man. I'm impressed today. I ain't gonna lie.
Man. Great jokes. A $787 million loss, and
that's what it cost them.
Carlson, yeah.
You know what's fucking wild about Tucker Carlson that I learned after all this stuff? Is conservatives. I find it so hard. I got to switch hats. So, Ranjit, how do you do do this with a straight face? Conservatives, for all their anti-work from home rhetoric, for all their, you got to be in the office, you got to be there, shaking hands and being around the people and really knowing.
From home.
He's been working from home for the last decade. He invented work from home. This guy had a studio in his basement that he was doing his shows from. That is freaking wild. That thing blew my mind.
Studio?
His studio is in his house. He has like a $2 million studio built in his house that he broadcasts out of to New York, which gets like syndicated and like redone. His guests are all remote. This guy was the pinnacle of work from home. And he was the same guy ranting, likely, I have no idea, I don't watch Tucker Carlson. But if he's like conservatives that I know, he was ranting against people working from home. Well, he had the greatest work from home office.
That's nuts. I never watched a lot of it, to be honest, other than like the sound bites that floated on Twitter. But look, he's just going to be on a podcast now, and he's going to have his own show.
Yeah.
What's interesting is he tried to like.
The theory is it's a time slot, right? He wasn't famous before the time slot. Bill O'Reilly got fired. They brought this guy in. He gets fired. I guarantee you, whoever they prop up next in that time slot, was 8 o'clock or whatever it is, becomes the next big.
Why did the CNN guy get fired at the same time?
Don Lemon. He had said that women reach their peak in their 30s.
Okay, yeah, okay.
No, that was a while ago.
That's a bad one.
No, but they took him off air, and that's basically what the reason is. He had to apologize. I think he had to apologize or something.
Yeah, the thing I saw that they said really broke the camel's back is he was interviewing another conservative at the thing, Indian conservative running for like leadership for the Conservative Party thing, and he took out his earpiece and was like kind of going AWOL against him.
Oh,
They're like none of the points he raised were bad, but I don't know. I heard that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. The woman thing I heard come up a lot, but they kind of chose to do it at a very ample time. They're like everyone's gonna be watching the Tucker Carlson thing. Let's just get rid of this guy while we're at it.
Yeah, well, there's a reason. Like he was not even on our outline here, but he wasn't on the radar, so they did a good job for timing.
And now Trump is like, fuck Fox News. I'm gonna do an interview with CNN.
How times have changed.
This is like the wildest paradigm, like the wildest timeline where this shit's just.
When you're desperate, you do desperate things.
So I'm coming late to the party on this, but Succession, is that based off like Rupert Murdoch?
Rupert Murdoch, yeah. That's the backstory. Yeah.
How far are you guys in Succession?
Recently, someone I like make a joke, make fun of me. I definitely deserve it. I just put that together.
I mean, I don't even know who Rupert. I know the name, but I don't know what his empire is. What does Rupert Murdoch own?
Seriously?
I know the name, huh?
Fox. He owns Fox.
Oh, that's the guy who owns Fox?
Tucker's boss. Tucker's the boss. The guy who fired Tucker.
Okay, see, I did not know that. But
you watch Succession?
I'm 3 episodes in. I tried to get it. I'm trying to get into it. I'm still watching it. Still, I just started this recently. It's a slow ass show to get into.
It's so good. It's so well written. Oh man.
Here's my thing with Succession right now. Where I'm at is, and I don't know if this improves or changes. I hate everyone. I think everyone is an idiot.
Yeah.
You're supposed to hate everybody.
So the show's doing its job, right?
I like the old guy. That's my favorite character. Yeah, I like the dad. I'm like, yeah, that's
the only guy I like. But I'm like, yeah, he's a villain. But his kids are idiots. These are the biggest group of dumbasses I could imagine.
He just says the F word and life is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really trying to get into Succession. I don't know how many episodes I got to get into before I'm like, oh shit, this blew my mind. It's slowly hinted that way, but it's hard. It's a really slow burn.
Yeah, just get through the first 5-6 episodes.
It gets better. It gets ridiculous too, but it gets better.
Yeah.
You know, show's great right from the start, and I'm gonna get flack for saying this. Is Indian Matchmaker. y'all can hate on me. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all can hate on me. I'll take the L's. I'll take whatever you got coming my way for this. My wife got me on it because she's like watching it. And I'm just sitting there eating dinner, and I'm like, I don't know her. I'm just watching it. I'm like done dinner. I'm still sitting there watching it. She's like, do you want to watch something else? I'll be like, no, I keep watching what you're watching. I'm good. But the show's freaking jokes, man.
It's so their characters, man. Again, yeah.
I just question, are these people real?
Yeah.
I remember
these people can't be real.
I saw last.
How many times is Seema going to tell us she's from Mumbai? Like, fuck yeah, Seema, we know you're from Mumbai. Come up with something else now.
So I was curious what she charges. Like, how much are people paying her for like this matchmaking?
20 G's.
Yeah. So like her official thing said like, $3,000 to $8,000. And TikTok's like, nah, man, we contacted her. She wants minimum 20. And if she hooks you up, she wants more. There's a bonus that's expected.
Oh, there's
the system already exists in India, doesn't it?
Mundi.
Yeah, like it's not like.
Is that how much it costs?
This is maybe a higher elite version, maybe.
The people they have on it.
Of compensating the matchmakers there.
Yeah, but this show's such a train wreck that it's hilarious. Like
I just how are they functioning adults? That's always my question. Like some of them are like lawyers, and you're like, seriously?
Yeah, and it's kind of cringe that this is a glimpse that Gore have into our society, Indian society. It's like, don't think we're all.
But I think we all agree American desis are very different than Canadian desis.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah, but the thing this show does is it's not just she's in the UK, she's in America, in like different states. She's in Delhi. She's in Mumbai. Like they have this like world encompassing. She's matchmaking all around the world type thing. Canada hasn't come up yet.
But it's the US ones that are funny.
The US ones are the funny ones.
Yeah.
Last season had a girl from Toronto. a Punjabi girl from Toronto.
Really? Okay, so I didn't see last season. What season?
And she got matched up with this Guju guy from Miami, and the Toronto girl was living in Miami as well, but she's from Toronto.
Okay.
And it was a train wreck date, and yeah, that was it. Like, you know, the dude was the character on the show. The Punjabi girl was just like a match and never reappeared. But yeah, I was just thinking to myself, so funny you brought it up. If there was a Canadian version of that show, how different would the people be? It just, I can't imagine me anything alike. We may not even have any like.
No, there's some weirdos out there, bro.
There's definitely weirdos.
There's some weirdos.
I hear stories.
Really?
I hear some interesting stories.
Are they comfortable being on camera? Like, remember, there's levels to this, right? You can just be weird in your own space. These people have full on. Firstly, got the matchmaker, then agreed to go on a Netflix show, and knowing that there's a camera on them. They sign like some NDAs or whatever it is. Knowing that there's a camera on them, they're still acting like that. So that's the best version of themselves.
I noticed that because sometimes I'm like,
the doctor guy from Cali was pretty funny. That Guju girl from UK is. You're
watching it. This guy started this saying, "I don't even know what this show is," and he knows what's going on.
Wait, I never denied.
Robbie, you remember when I brought this up, and this guy's like, "Yo, what is that show?"
What is that? I don't know what that is.
I said, "What is there to talk about?" There's not too much to talk about it. Yeah, they're characters.
Clearly, you have a lot to talk about. You know a lot about the show.
I didn't watch this and the whole season. I've watched like four episodes.
4 hours, bro.
You know what my favorite thing is?
You put it like that.
It's interesting though. One thing that comes up a lot on this show that is after the date, the person will call Seema, letting them know, hey, you know, it didn't really work out with the person. You know, I thank you, but I think I want to try someone else. And her response is always, she always has the exact same thing where she's like, hold on, you're done with one date? No, you got to talk to them more. They're like, no, but there's no spark. There wasn't any chemistry. Like, what do you mean chemistry? Chemistry is something you build together. It takes time for it to percolate. Like, you guys are dumping each other after one date? You got to expect, and her favorite line is, you want 100%, you'll never get 100% in your partner. You should settle at 60%. 60% match.
Compromise, bro. Compromise.
And I was just watching. Some of these dates are so friggin' awkward.
The list is hilarious when she asks them what they want in a partner. So yeah, I'm okay with the 60% because that list is ridiculous.
Yeah, some of those lists are stupid.
The one guy, they
literally describe a Bollywood actor who's educated in every one of their wants. Tall, this, that, family orientated, does this, has a good job. Super. It's like, yeah.
Like, I'm 40 and single, and I don't know why.
You know what's crazy is one thing that I didn't realize was just how tough short guys have it. I never realized that short guys had it tough because, you know, I've been blessed in many ways. Height definitely came.
Now, what else are you alluding to?
I'm just saying, right? Like, it's wild that I didn't think that this was such a problem for people where they're like, yo, man, I got rejected. Why? I was short. What?
Yeah.
And every single criteria that girls start with, at least 6 foot tall, at least 6 feet tall. She's 5'1". I'm like, what the hell you want to see?
Yo, but I mean, because if you had to date again, it'd be hard, man. I think it'd be hard. Like, I'm happy I don't have to venture into that world again.
I would suffocate in this modern dating environment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even
be one of the guys on the show.
Nah, man, I'd be like, yo, I'm single and I'm loving it. I wouldn't even try that venture. It's scary. I hear stories and I'm like, yo.
I do admit it's fun, you know, when your friend hands you the phone and like, all right, you have the power to swipe left and right. That's good fun. That's fun.
I'm well past that with all my
Well, Shinda needs the subtitles again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting show, but there was this one character on the show that's really like. There was one while ago that I resonated with. There's another one this season. His name is Bobby from UK. I don't know if you guys.
Is it the math kid?
The math kid.
Why does he resonate with you?
Because he's such a nerd.
I know all that guy needs to do is stop talking.
All he needs to do. His whole thing is, I don't understand why I keep getting friend zoned. It makes no sense to me. And I'm like, I know exactly why you get friend zoned. Just shut up.
You know the too. He makes self-deprecating jokes about how much he out talks or brings too much energy and shit like that. He
So
knows.
you've seen it.
I saw that episode. I didn't see his date. I didn't see that episode when he actually went on a date with that Gucci girl. My wife
Killed
told
it.
me in, right?
Killed the date.
You told me he was a train wreck.
No. He killed the date. He killed
okay.
it. Such a freaking stud. This guy danced. He wine dined her. Conversation was going crazy. She friend zoned him at the end of it when they asked, like, are you going to call him back? She's like, I loved it. There was an amazing time, but he's a friend. And he makes him feel, yeah, he's short.
He said that in the next episode to her friends. He said he was a short guy.
The short guy is what hurt him, but he makes them too comfortable. I'm not saying he needs to make them uncomfortable, but he makes it so comfortable right from the start that they're just like, yeah, this guy feels like my brother.
Nah.
I felt so bad. I'm like, yo, man, Bobby, let me talk to you.
He should treat her like shit, and he would go.
No. He just needs to tone his comfort level down by 10%.
I'm insight into Shinda's mind and how he did.
10%. Just 10%.
His poor wife.
He just needs to tone it down.
Top G's coming out.
No. I'm not saying he needs to be a jerk. I think he's a great human being. I think everything he's doing is great. Tone it down by 10%. Leave some mystery there. Make them have to ask you questions. Don't just offer up the thing. Have like allow some back and forth there.
Dating tips from Shinda.
I'm the worst person to call a friend. I'm the caller, but I feel like his case is the easiest one thing solve, and I legit feel bad because I think he's a nice guy and I want to see the best for him. Only saw him in one episode. I feel like I've known him in my life. Huh?
You're invested.
I just want a little brother. This guy, but he's probably older than me. I don't know. It's just funny, but this show is such a train wreck. Some of these dates. The one guy, the Cali doctor you mentioned, he was all like, I'm American, but I have Desi roots. I want a Desi girl.
Yeah, he wanted a Hindi speaking girl. What?
And then he's like, yo, this girl doesn't speak enough Hindi.
Yeah, that was strange.
That was weird.
You know what that guy reminded me of? And I hear stories about this all the time, is dudes are like, yo, I want someone who's religious, but not religious.
Yeah.
I want someone who's cultural. Oh, she's too cultural. I need less.
They want their mom, right? Their moms were the ones who forced them to go to Gurdwara and stuff like that. But their dads were, getting hammered in the garage. Johnny Walker guy. So they want that, but they want a girl who will now have a peg with them too, but still take their kids to the Gurdwara.
I like that breakdown.
Break it down. Yeah.
That was actually... All right. Here's a question to you guys. Not a date. If you're a dude and you're out there, what's your advice to them right now, like off the bat?
Get off that fucking show.
Not even if they're on the show. If they're just saying, "Yo, man, I can't find this girl. What am I doing wrong?" What's like the thing that you see guys doing wrong all over the place that you think this is what?
Like the guys that want to get married or get laid or just go on a date.
Married, man. This is a family show. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
Just making them out uncomfortable when you said that.
I take that back. I don't know what that means.
The guys who right now are at that age where they're trying to get married, say all the 27-year-olds listening to our podcast right now who haven't been on a date or have been on one date and are trying to figure out
the fucking podcast.
What's your advice to them?
I think Simonti holds it down, man. Like you shave back 60% of what you want and take that as a W.
Know what you want, man. That's probably the first thing. Simple. Know what you want.
You got a priority list. But then there's some shit that's so stupid on some people. Some people's lists are stupid. Maybe actually they should watch this show and then understand why some people are dumb with their lists and then look inward and fucking get rid of some stupid shit.
See what really makes you happy. Right?
Yeah.
Talk about what makes you happy.
I don't know.
Go.
And you fucking give us some insight. What should people do? Actually, you've been giving enough.
I feel like I've been
too much.
Yeah. But like on that same level of conversation, for these 27-year-olds listening, what's the greatest money scheme that you think, had you known earlier, you would have been better off for it? What's that one tip that you think you could give people?
Like a scheme or like actual financial advice?
doesn't even.
Is that what you're giving on the show? Financial advice?
We're not giving financial advice. We're not. Of us, of all people, are not financial experts by any means. Don't do anything we say. But if you were to talk to yourself 15 years ago, what's the one thing you would say? And don't be like buy crypto or buy that stock. What's that one thing that you should?
Don't say buy a house.
No, buy a house.
I was gonna say exactly that.
Buy a house.
Don't care about my notice of assessment. Just go get a Brampton mortgage and put money down on a pre-con.
You think that advice still stands?
No.
15 years ago it did.
No, but talking to a kid now, what's their like? This is what you should do. This is what I would do in your shoes.
Temper your expectations. That would be mine. Right? Save, work hard. Not this whole idea that success is deemed by the materialistic objects we've been getting it's getting worse and worse, right? Like if they don't have if they're like, yo, you went to school for 10 years, you don't got a Ferrari, it's kind of like, yeah.
Fucking Buddha over here today, man. This guy's straight. Shut all material goods. Don't worry about money. Money is meaningless. Just
no, as in like it's some of the stuff you're trying to attain ain't gonna come tomorrow, right? That shit takes years, right? And I think if I could look back and say, build a foundation, take time, build a foundation, but you to a place where you want. Some people made money quick. Some people made money quick. It wasn't in my cards.
No, but what's a build a foundation mean?
Financially, right? Be sound. Don't indebt yourself. Save money. Invest properly. Don't need to take risks that you don't have to, right? People jumped into crypto, they got burned, right? People jumped into real estate recently, they're going to get burned. Everything's a get rich scheme, get rich quick scheme. If it was me, I would be like, yeah, just temper my expectations of what success, quote unquote, is for me at least. That's me. Because what you define, any of us individually define as a lot of money, I would assume is very varied. Like you guys thought, 30 mil was acceptable to call yourself rich? I thought that was a lot of money.
We said generational wealth.
Generational, whatever it is, right? So
yeah,
I'm just trying to get Brampton rich, man. I feel Brampton poor. Ranjit, what's
Brampton rich?
Brampton rich? Brampton rich right now is you got to be at least 5 million assets.
You're a real estate agent. You got a $250,000 car.
No, that's not. That's once again. That's not. That could be. This could be a liability. What's rich? What are they got? What's their net worth? Put it that way.
12 mil.
Oh damn! You want these kids to get 12 mil in like 4 years?
I'm just not 4 years. I'm just saying Brampton rich. That's what Brampton rich right now is. If you're less than right now in Brampton, if you're living in a $2 million home, you're slumming it. You're barely getting by.
That's very true.
You're at that. You know what I mean? But Ranjit, what's your
long term in life?
Yeah, well, Ranjit, what's your hey, Mr. 27-year-old, 25-year-old? This is what I think you ought to be doing.
Honestly, I would tell them to buck the trend of like try to live a good balanced life, go on vacation and all that. I would tell them that's the mentality of the generation that's going to lose the money. And try to, focus on the grandparents' generation and be the one who capitalizes on everybody else taking vacations and you be the one working. Put your head down till you're 40 and then figure it out.
Work. In other words, work.
Man, you guys came up with some shitty ass schemes. I'm trying to help these kids get rich quick.
I ain't telling my secrets.
You're sitting on one and you put some thought into this and you're fucking putting this question to us.
Yeah.
Give us your smart ass thing that you probably thought of for the week.
I ain't come up with anything. I was just like, if anyone's got some schemes, it's the two richest guys on this podcast. These guys are like, we ain't gonna tell y'all shit.
There are like smart things to level up your family, not just the kids. Like,
all right, here's my advice to kids. Live with your parents as long as you can and save the hell out of as much as you can, because that's easy money savings right there, not paying a mortgage. Save that. Don't be afraid of interest loans, because you can write those off on your taxes and you get that money right back. Take those risks, big risks. Market's down now, get that margin loan out. And if you get liquidated, try and get liquidated trying.
Oh yeah. One thing I would say is always keep some liquidity for recessions and then buy and sit there for like 5 years.
And
buy stocks, buy whatever, mutual funds, anything.
I feel like there's always a time for mutual funds and all that stuff, but it's hard to time it because I just remember like when 2008 hit, little did we know how big of a recession that was going to be for a lot. Like that was such a big dip. But in hindsight, it's kind of like, man, if only I had more capital to my name, I could have taken out a huge ass loan. And when I remember when we did take out loans, all that interest, just take out an interest only loan, you're paying that interest straight down. Writing it off and stuff.
You're taking mostly on real estate though, right?
Pardon? No, that was all stocks, man.
Stocks, yeah.
In hindsight, my biggest mistake was buying a condo.
You should have bought a house. Yeah.
I could have bought a townhouse.
I mean, but like, do you think we're going to go through that string of, year over year increases in real estate or the hot economy like for a long time? So it's like, yeah, someone could take those risks right now, but the kind of way it was guaranteed back then was ridiculous, right? I mean,
yeah, definitely hard to time this shit. But
incomes have not even moved, and houses went from what 300-400K to like 1.7 million. That's kind of, yeah. If you catch the wave, go for it, right? You can't hate on the person that caught it, but if you think that's just the answer that's going to happen all the time, or you're going to get.
Have you guys heard of this thing of some Canadian banks are some of the most shorted banks in the world right now?
Yep.
Well, I heard it's more just TD. I didn't hear it was Canadian banks in general. I heard it TD in particular.
TD in particular. That's kind of crazy to me. I mean, scary. What do they know?
Interesting.
I heard the same thing. I'm in that same. What do they know? The thing I heard they know.
Canadian banks have had a great run. Right. So
they're also heavily protected. That's the thing. I think they're so protected. I don't see the government ever letting one fail by any capacity. The thing I heard about TD in general was that they had recently bought a bank in the States that had a lot of debt that wasn't the most liquid. And the thinking was that bank is going to take a lot of TD's resources for them to cover up and like make whole. So people were betting against them for that. But
one just got bought out by
in the U.S. JP Morgan, right?
JP Morgan, yeah.
But with general bank stocks have always had like the safest dividends and like consistency.
Canadian banks, recently. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If the consistency's been there, but the economy's going to shit, naturally more people are, and they're looking at everything like, oh, short it.
Yeah, like that's the one thing that hasn't gone down
yet. The hotter Tesla did, the higher the shorts, the bigger the shorts became. I mean, it's only natural, right? So, I mean, does it mean that they're going to crash? I don't know. That's hard to predict.
Right.
All right.
I'm trying to say, if it was me, 27-year-old, stop trying to predict the fucking world. Just get to work.
Just work your ass off and make money.
Get your career in, build your foundation, and then build off that. And you got to get somewhere, right?
Do you still think that going to university is a big deal, or kids shouldn't know?
I think it depends on your field. Like neither of you would have been where you're at right now, work-wise, employment-wise, without university. It was like a precursor to get to the job that you got. Like tech is one of those fields. Business is another one where, regardless of university, I don't think it makes too big of a difference. But if you're working under like some sort of professional designation, doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever it is, those ones actually, there's no two ways around it. You need your university for that.
Yeah, I think it's changed though, right? In terms of getting back, and there's other careers that are just making just as good money. That's the traditional path. That's what we've been taught, right? But you hear the way other people make money. It's impressive. I mean, it's just as hard work, just different, right? Trades is another one, man. I'm impressed with the trades. Like, forget titles and accolades.
License.
Hmm?
Huh?
It would have been nice to have my GC license.
Electrician would have been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the electricians I know are working crazy hours.
But they're making money. They're making good money, right? But they're working crazy because they're making it.
But they're also working different. Like that job isn't easy.
No, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying the grind is different, right? But
it's a different grind.
The payouts. It's not like, oh, you went to school for 8 years and you became a doctor, and now your payouts, 20 times as much as some of these trades as they used to be.
Bigger fucking loans.
Yeah, so it's a bit different now, right? So there's just other careers. I think what Ranjit does is one of the better ones.
Lawyers.
No.
I was reading something
No,
about.
in terms of schooling, right? I'm not saying it's it's a more like
Well, fine. We don't
quicker.
do math.
No, it could be quick. It's just quicker in terms of like you can start working and
7 years of school, 1 year of.
no, you have debt, but you're not then paying for office equipment. You're not paying for technology on top of that to open your office, right? Like as in a dentist, for example, is paying hundreds of thousands of dollars just to open their own practice. I'm just saying it's different, right? So
Right.
there's some careers that even after the fact that you studied, you have been certified, you're still investing in yourself, right? And it keeps going as a business. Whereas that's what I'm saying about lawyers or any kind of trades. You're getting paid right away. So
Okay, one thing I was actually curious about: what the hell's going on with Ontario's Law Society and that whole woke thing? I heard there was this vote, but I couldn't find any.
It's pretty bad for me to say that I'm not very in tune.
don't say it then.
I did end up voting for this woke slate. So there's one slate that there goes Robbie, and there's one slate that is kind of in power now, and there's this huge push in Ontario from the LSO for like inclusivity and diversity and all that. Some of it feels like just talking heads, hot air. Some of it's pretty good, but that's my personal take of it. And I know Alberta had this very conservative slate kind of take over their law society. And on my Twitter feed, I keep on seeing, I started seeing things about a similar slate developing, a very conservative slate developing here. And I was trying to take over the board, so I quickly just voted for whoever I knew, which is bad because the other slate, it wasn't as conservative or the boogeyman they were made out to be. There are some things I don't like about the scrutiny on judges and stuff like that, but Ontario LSO is a pretty woke organization these days, and it's gonna stay woke for the next term, which I don't even know how long it is.
Is there a push similar in like medicine right now at all that you've heard, or?
I don't even know what's the issue.
There's no issue. It's just our college had elections recently. There's like 40 people that get elected to the bench.
Okay, yeah. No, ours is different. The college works a bit differently than ours is to protect the public, so it's not a.
So is ours.
We don't really have a say. Sorry, the council doesn't have much say as you think it would. It's the government, it's the ministry of health that dictates everything, right? So
I think a part of the things that really pushed things into the limelight was when the college's psychologists went after Jordan Peterson, and they're like, as a member of our college, we don't appreciate the things you've said that make some people in public feel unsafe. And then his whole thing was, why are you trying to mandate the language I use? It's not language that is endangering anyone or anything like that. So because of that, but it became this whole thing over, it was really political correctness, I think, is what it came down to, is the college wanted him to be a little bit more politically correct in the way he's approached things. And my understanding of the law one was it's somewhat similar in that they wanted lawyers to adopt a little bit more of a political correct leaning when talking about certain topics.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what it seems like to me too.
So I was just curious if that was affecting other areas. It is generally society's gotten really more politically correct for sure.
The last few years have been a whirlwind of change, right? When in regards to what you say, how you say it, perception. Perception is huge right now, right? What a person might perceive to what you're saying. It's strange. Even you asked about medical. Yeah, you got to be careful what you say. Right? You do have to be careful what you say. Feelings are a huge part now. How a person feels within the room. And it's a secondary part of the job now, right? that kind of communication aspect where it was more direct, or I guess in any job, be a matter of fact, if it was writing emails or, discussing something, there's a whole new facet of communication now you got to follow, and you have to be careful, right? Which can get you in a lot of trouble. So it's the new world, I guess. That's all it is, right?
Fair enough. Any closing remarks? Any last thoughts? We've been rambling for a while. I feel like I took over. My apologies.
Feel more awake this week.
Yeah.
Old man Robbie here. This guy's like.
I see red.
It's no, it's not old man. I'm tired.
It's only 9 p.m. I'm tired.
I am starting to feel old now. Like honestly, last year I was like, I don't feel my age. This year, starting to feel my age. Yeah, I'm getting old.
It's showing too.
Huh?
It's showing
too. Thanks.
Oh shit.
No, nothing for me either. Just Rangers are out now as well, so Devils made it through. It's the year of the underdog.
Not the Leafs.
We're the underdog.
Are you?
Oh, you were.
That you're the favorites.
I mean, technically, they're the.
Now it's us.
How many lines do these Leafs have? Leafs Nation, Leafs Forever, Go Leafs Go. Is there any more? Leafs Strong. That must be in there.
Bleed Blue.
Bleed Blue.
Yeah, there's a few.
A few. It's probably an essay.
All right, boys. Pleasure as always.
All right.
Yep.
Till next time, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Is there any this is the thing I was thinking. We haven't done Bonded of the Week because I guess we kind of got stuck. What's the question of the week? Leave a question, and then people can comment the answer.
What are these hard questions? I'm just not ready for this.
Really on it today, eh?
I'm on point, man. I'm on production mode this week. If you guys got any good what's your advice for people dating? If you have any dating advice, put it in the comments below. Let's hear what you got. If you're watching Indian Matchmaker, who's your favorite character? I'm curious.
My suggestion is don't send dick pics. I don't think those work anymore.
I ain't asking for a DM. Oh, you're saying in general as like dating advice?
Yeah.
You're saying it worked at one point?
Oh, what's up in your? I asked you for DMs. What's in your DMs?
I'm just curious. He's like, it won't work no more. This guy's insinuating it worked at one point.
It was all the rage at a certain point. Yes.
Oh my god, girls! Guess what? I got one. I don't think they were ever in.
No, we got to edit that out.
Should have put a poll out. How likely would Shinla be in today's day and age to be on Desi Matchmaker?
This really backfired. Holy shit!
What's his chances?
I could be missing my
we should write a list of what we want, what we would put if we're on that show, and then have our wives make a list that if we're on the show, what we need.
That's a lot of work, brother.
Yeah,
I want to see the comparison.
It's not going to end well for us. So,
all right, put your bio data with the things you're looking for in the comments and see. And if you see someone who matches, just hit them up. How's that? Matchmaking in the comments. You don't need to see them. You got the three of us.
Save you 20K.
Save you 20K right there. But yeah. Thank you for listening, man. Till next time. Peace.